Okay, so the worms are getting cooked. I mean, in a good way. We can smell the worms. I mean, it's, it's got a distinctive smell, and it means that yes, I don't even need to look to see that to know that they are much alive over there, and soon we will be able to release a new batch to the wild. Um, the neighbors are, I mean, they're getting used to the idea. You know, they keep doing their stuff, but they're getting used to the idea. Um, you know that, I mean, very fatal viral diseases are not something that is evolutionary viable and um, recommended. Even, I mean, when we speak in the context of replacement of defunct species, because of course it's much more important that the new life forms will um, like take root in the current biosphere by, of course, spreading themselves and mutating to fit to new subsections of the new environment. And for this purpose, I mean, it's best not to hurt, or at least in the short term, not to disrupt the normal functioning of the hosts. Just saying. Um, so what I thought like to do, I mean, it's something that I haven't done in a very long time, but in the past it was actually one of the subjects. I mean, the recurring subjects, both of the blog and of the podcasts, which is pop culture criticism. I mean, my long-time viewers or subscribers, I don't know if there are many of those like still listening, but if they are, they must be, I'm sure that many of them remember that was in the past it was one of the subjects of my speeches and my writings, and of course it was all interlinked with the issue of divinations and the other major themes. So let's speak a little bit about Blade Runner, but not the original one, which is of course a masterpiece, and I liked it very much. I remember the first time I watched it, actually, the first Blade Runner, I was maybe 12 years old. So it was like perhaps the mid 90s. I watched it in VHS, of course, with my father, and I mean, I liked it very much. And when it was done, both me and I watched it with my father, and both of us really liked it. And when it was done, my father asked me, "No, perhaps you are a replicant as well." It was very funny. I mean, he asked me, maybe you are a replicant. I mean, like this woman, she didn't know. I mean, the love interest of Harrison Ford, like the of Deckard. So she didn't know she's a replicant. So maybe you are a replicant as well. Maybe. Yeah, but let's speak about the sequel. I've seen it with my brother Uri and his wife, Olga, in theaters. And let's dedicate a few words to the sequel. And I've seen it twice actually, because after that I've seen it a second time in my home. So in general, I mean, if I need to like you to be like super concise and just choose the make a binary choice between 0 or 1, good and bad, I will choose 1, which means good, like thumbs up. Because I think it's I mean, I think it's a fine movie, a very very I forgot the word shaftan. How do you say shaftan in English? How did I forget how to say shaftan? Like aspire for more. Like I mean, high inspirations, high hopes. How do you say shaftan? Shit. Sometimes you forget basic words. Shaftan. So it's inspires for a lot. I mean, it's like it's got like it aims very high, and I like it. I mean, many times science fiction movies and pop culture artifacts are. I mean, they just aim for for mediocrity, and that's what they achieve. And I like that I mean, it's still there are still passionate movie makers, screenwriters, directors that I mean they want to achieve something bigger, and if they don't, if they fail to hit the mark, I mean, at least they tried, and it was a good try. The worst problem with this movie is that it's too long and it was horribly edited, and this is something that both me and my brother when the movie was over and we exited the we went towards the exit of the cinema. So I mean, my brother told me something like, okay, that was the director's cut. I also had something like witty to say, but I forgot what I had to say because his remark is actually more to the point. It's the director's cut. I mean, it's it's badly edited and too like I mean contains too much. Actually, I think it's actually possible to actually edit the movie, edit the theatrical cut in a way that will just using the material that already exists inside the theatrical cut. I mean, and of course, it will be much easier if you have like access to all the like the bits that stayed in the editing room and to extra material. But even without it, and more so if for someone that actually has access to the material, I mean, to the raw material of the filmmaking process, it's actually more than possible to create a much better film just, I mean, by editing after the fact. I mean, re-editing the director cut, like to make it more like the studio cut, which should be better in that case, because the director just, I mean, he just, it's a good director. But I mean, I have also bad thing and good things to say about Dune, but maybe that's another video. But the new Dune, always said that I'm like I don't know if to say the fan, but I'm very fond of the David Lynch Dune, even though it's kind of like um, a very movie that many people like to hate. I can actually kind of like it. Of course, I've read the novel and I also like the novel, but and I've seen not a while. I mean, a while ago, I've seen the first installment of the new Dune, and actually I've okay. Let's leave it for another time. But I just recall this movie because it's the same director, if I'm not mistaken. But Blade Runner 2049, I mean, it's just badly edited, and could still be a better movie just by re-editing everything. And although the sound mix is terrible, I mean, sound mix is not something that most people like think about unless they are like cinephiles. Like normal people, even if they really like cinema, don't think about sound mix. But when it's so bad, I mean, you cannot but think about it. I mean, so sound edit and sound mix and editing in general in the movie are very bad, and it could still be fixed. Actually, I mean, new version could still be released for this movie. So that's the bad thing. But let's speak about the good things, and there are many. First of all, as I said, I don't know. Wait a second. We also, I mean, to finish the bad things. I mean, I want to finish the bad things first, and then speak about the good things of the movie. So another very, I mean, and this is a general problem with movies today, especially sequels and especially like prequels and sequels and reboots and reshoots and soft reboots and all this shit. Is that I mean it forces Harrison Ford and too heavy with heavy hand into the film, and is redundant. I mean it is not. I mean why is he even there? Just I mean crowd pleaser. I mean why? I mean I think that I mean the whole subplot that contains Harrison Ford should have been deleted, and I mean I understand that. I mean, it was needed in order to get audience and and in any case, it was a movie that was like from the get go. It had a huge like audience problem because I mean it's kind of like avant garde science fiction, and without the link to the first one. We should remember that even the first one, which is so fondly remembered today, wasn't a hit at all at the cinema. It was actually a failure, and only during time it garnered more like appreciation. So yeah, I understand it. I mean, probably without the link to the first movie and Harrison Ford character, the Deckard Cain, whatever his name, so or Deckard Cain is from Diablo or whatever. Anyway, So maybe it was impossible. It would have been impossible to create a movie, but it's just, I mean, artistically, it's just a wrong decision because I don't think that he adds much to the movie. And this, of course, is a reoccurring problem with many of like today's cinemas that are, I mean, they're forcing connections to previous installment. Just, I mean, so audience will feel more comfortable to, I don't know, waste their time and money. So now let's speak about the good things about the movie, and there are many. First of all, um, it's original and it aims high, and I really like the idea of. There are several ideas that I think that are very original in the movie and interesting. First of all, I mean, the first movie, a lot of it was, especially in like reruns and like when people see it again and again, and much of it surrounds like the issue of who is replicant and who is not, specifically the main character, but also other characters as well. There's the issue of like who is a replicant, and this movie took, I think, a very different and novel approach of let's not almost not speak about it at all. I mean, almost everyone in the movie are replicants, and it's like you kind of like very quickly you learn to understand that. I mean, humans are almost absent from the movie. I mean, there is, I mean, the captain of police, not the captain, yes, the captain of police, which is, I mean, she's clearly a human, but other than that, I mean, there aren't really many people I mean, that are you actually sure that they are humans, and doesn't even matter all that much, and it's really amazing that how it pulled off, like how the director and the screenwriter actually made it. I mean, there's the issue. I mean, another person which is probably human is the villain, Mr. Wallace, but he's such a great villain that you actually you you tend to think of him like, I mean, as not a replicant and nor a human, as something in like a hybrid, like um I think I could be like one of my possible direction is to be like him. I mean, of course, not without the murderer's tendencies. I mean, towards Homo sapiens is a different issue, but in general, like, I mean, I don't like. Of course, I'm not going to be like, how he murders this robot. I mean, without any consciousness, and this is really. I'm not talking about that, but I mean, the general trajectory of like we need more applicants, millions, so we can be trillions, is something that I connect to very, like, from all my heart. Like, the idea that we need to be more, and we need to, like, to create more, like, babies, and that, I mean, the Israeli government and the Israeli population are conducting genocide on us. I mean, this is something that is very close to me, specifically. Um, so I mean, I can be like him, like kind of a character that blends the whole. I mean, kind of like blends any kind of borders between replicants and humans, and I really liked his character. I mean, besides, I mean, of course, minus the issue that he kind of murders this innocent robot. So, but other than that, I mean, I can really be Mr. Wallace. Um, of course, I really, I mean, the main like narrative quest of finding the replicant that was born like in normal childbirth, I think it's very original, and I really liked it. And we should repeatedly say that it's very difficult in science fiction to find new ideas and to present them boldly. And I think that he has done it. I mean, Villanueva is his name. I mean, he's done it really well in this movie. Denis Villanueva, something like that. I mean, it's a really major point, um, um, uh, with like a positive point, judging his work, is that he really he made it. He pursued a very original, and it's difficult to be original in the field of science fiction, and he did it very boldly. The idea of a child that was born in normal childbirth, and like is kept in eventually we know that it's actually it's a she, not a he, but he or she, they are kept in secret, and there are other like replicants that are actually even like and sacrificing their own life, like we see in the beginning, to keep he or she is very aware about a secret, and also it's very touching. Actually, I really like the part like when the protagonist, which is during the movie, is going through a change of heart, like he's to understand like that he serves the evil side, and for a second, like more than a second, he thinks that maybe, I mean, he speculates perhaps he's the one that is actually was born like in regular childbirth, because they all have like implemented memories. And then, I mean, he found that it's not true, and he's for a second, and he's kind of like he's having you know disappointment, and the leader of the resistance tells him that I mean, it's okay. I mean, that it's normal that he wanted to be this one, and that it's what makes him normal in many ways, and that I think it's very. The whole scene is very masterfully done and very touching, and like strong, very strong emotionally, and so yeah, kudos to the director that pulled it up very. And it's difficult to create scenes like that with such an emotional baggage. I mean, with that everyone is robots, and so yeah, it was done. It was masterfully done, and again, I like the main character. I mean, he's likable and interesting, and his love interest, she's played by Anna de Armas, I think. I don't remember what's her name. She's a software, actually, she's a software product in the movie, but I don't remember the name. And she's like transposed upon like a prostitute, but I don't remember if it's a human one or a replicant one, but it doesn't even matter. So that part was also, I think, was done very well. So yes, there are many things. I mean, the main plot, I think, was very original and presented very boldly, and many of the smaller details were also very interesting and intelligent. And of course, the visual design was amazing, and this is something that we can see again and again in this the works of this director, Denis, whatever, Villanueva. I mean, yes, needless to say that he's master in everything that relates to the visual arts, and of course, very important. The sound edit is really horrible, and I mean, this movie deserves just to re-edit, and also perhaps even more than just a sound mix, but maybe perhaps a re-edit of the whole film that will make it, I mean, more lightweight, or at least less heavyweight, and will cut like redundant scenes and make everything a little bit faster, quicker, and. I think the theatrical cut still contains like much better cut. I mean, that is just waiting for someone to create. But even, I mean, as it is, or at least as it was when I saw the theatrical cut, it's still, I mean, a very good movie and inspirational one. And some other time I will speak about Dune Part 1, which I liked less, but is not a bad movie. I will say that.